Hey guys, welcome back to some more AFK Arena. Today we're back over on the YouTube account and we are preparing the account to get that awakened version of Skrath, which we know is going to be coming up on Tuesday. A lot of questions about what is going on in AFK Arena, and I've been getting questions every single day when it comes to two particular heroes, which of course are the solo leveling crossover heroes, which is Sun Jinwoo and also Shahan. Now, as of right now, you cannot get these heroes if you did not pick them up in the chest. I know on Facebook, I know on Reddit, I know on Discord, I know in a ton of different places. All of the advertisement and all of the marketing is still around both of these heroes. Unfortunately, if you're late joining AFK Arena, you cannot get them as of right now. And it is actually going to be an extended amount of time before you have the ability to get them. Because looking at both of them and thinking of just kind of the timeline that we see within the Garrison itself, right here, the Garrison units, and you can also see in here that we do not have Marcio, we do not have Laios. Both of them are not released at this point. So what traditionally happens when we look at AFK Arena is they will do a collaboration or they'll do a crossover. The heroes will be available for a limited time to purchase when they first come out. Then you can redeem them or get them as free to play through the exchange that we have during that first 28-day time period. After that, they disappear. They are completely gone from AFK Arena until the point they hit the Garrison shop, and that's exactly what you're seeing right here. We have Rimuru in here, we have Shuna, we have Rem and Amelia. All of the heroes will appear in the Garrison shop, just like we'll see with Laios and Marcio. That comes about 5 months after the release. So again, thinking of time frame wise, when it comes to Shahan and Sun Jinwoo, we probably have another 4, maybe 4.5 months until we could possibly see them in the Garrison, which puts us, honestly, thinking of timeline into 2026 at that point. So again, I get this question every single day on YouTube. Why can I not see the heroes? And the other one with this is when it comes to the Garrison and getting these heroes, you'll notice that we have Ainz and we have Albedo. And for whatever reason, Shell Tier never came in here. If you did not get Shell Tier, again, through that exchange system that we had or purchased her, unfortunately, you're not going to be able to get the hero at all, period. As far as I know right now, there's no way to get Shell Tier outside of, and again, purchasing them when they originally came up. What's going on? Yoshi is here. Judy taunts the dream. Drunk in Mafaba is here as well. Thank you guys for joining me. Like I said, wanted to run through quite a few things today. And I know over here, again, we're prepping for what is coming with the new Awakened hero. A lot of players getting ready for the hero. And overall, it seems like there's going to be some utility within the Cursed Realm, also looking at the Treasure Scramble. But a lot of players are kind of questioning the Nightmare Corridor because of the delay. If you're unfamiliar, the new Mauler, which is the Awakened version of Skrath, unfortunately, he's not up on Global till Tuesday, because the timeline for that is tomorrow will be Monday, tomorrow will be the patch, Tuesday will be the actual release of the hero itself, meaning that we're going to have access to the hero. Now, I know what Shooty just said right here. Looking at Telmar, the hero is incredibly effective. I am pretty impressed with how this hero works, being used in the Cursed Realm, the Nightmare Corridor, and the Treasure Scramble. Also seeing it, of course, the Mauler Tower. This hero is going to be used in a ton of different places. Now, there are two things that are very important with this hero specifically. Plus 30 signature item. The more bait stacks there are within the swim zone, the more damage enemies take, capped at 40%. That is huge. Getting the plus 30 signature item with this hero is absolutely pivotal. And it is the exact same with the engraving. Getting this 60 engraving, this is where a majority of her damage or the other team's damage is coming from. Enemy units that are lacerated by the harpoon take at least 35% additional damage, which is awesome. So the enemy is going to be taking more damage. This boost scales based on the number of times the enemy unit has moved recently, up to 100% additional damage. So if you have heroes or enemies that are moving around the battlefield, they can take up to 100% additional damage, which is massive and where a lot of the utility for this hero is coming in. Traditionally, and it's kind of interesting too, that we have been seeing the scaling of heroes just getting exponentially stronger with the power creep, with the scaling. I mean, even when you think of way back when with AFK Arena, you know, when we had Warwick with the bone breaking ability, when we had the skills and abilities, it was very minimal to what we would do here. 80% more damage for now 10 seconds. When he used this ability, this was huge. When he was out, now we're up to 100% more damage. So again, you can kind of see where the scaling is, not only the combat rating that we're seeing with these heroes, but also just where the scale and the power creep has come up. And a lot of players have also mentioned, and we've seen this over, I know Sibo, a lot of other players have talked about it, that we're going to see a really big change when it comes to the power creep. Now, I'm going to go and throw some speculation out here, guys. I want you to take it with a grain of salt. A lot of players are saying that when it comes to the beast grounds, we know that we have had beasts and we have had beasts for an extended amount of time. They think with the raising of the levels or the raising of that damage cap that we see in a lot of other game modes, that it could mean we see another power creep mechanic that is coming over on the companion server, which I know Shooty is absolutely huge when it comes to the companion server. A lot of players are saying, and we know over there we have transcended heroes, meaning that they are taking them above the 5-star level like we see right here with the regular hero, and actually having transcended heroes. So there is a way to even build them higher to 5 stars. In addition, over on the companion server, we also do have the awakened beasts that are over there as well. And again, kind of speculation of what could be coming down the pipeline for AFK Arena. What could look a little bit different in comparison to companions in relationship to the classic server. I don't know. Other big thing that I get every single day is when players are starting AFK Arena and they go right here, they all start in the companion server. It doesn't make sense. I get probably theoretically, I mean, probably 5, 10, 15 messages a day. Why don't your heroes look like mine? Why am I not seeing, you know, all of these heroes? I'm not seeing Rem. I'm not seeing Amelia. Why am I not seeing the same hero setup that I have on tier list, that I have on signature item tier list, that I have in the engraving list? It is because you are on the companion server. And unfortunately, for new players, that is where they are starting everybody. And I still don't understand the logic behind that. What's going on, Cyrex? I'm thinking chicken or Gavis. Honestly, right now, I feel like Gavis is going to have a little bit less utility as we continue to go forward, as we continue to get more heroes released within AFK Arena. I feel like the utility of some of these heroes in the damage mitigation. Gavis is not a huge damage dealer within AFK Arena, but again, I feel like the utility over the next couple weeks or months could definitely wane, and we also have to see exactly where it's going to be and what's going to come when it comes to different game modes and when it comes to heroes and future releases. Remember, guys, in AFK Arena, they release heroes every 2 weeks. We still have 3 more months until essentially 2026, till we start getting into the holiday season. We are still going to see an Awakened Wilder. We are also going to see an Awakened Graveborn hero. In addition, I would not be shocked if we see at least another Highborn Draconic hero or a regular Draconic hero in here as well, or if they run another collaboration or crossover, because even looking at Delicious and Dungeon and then looking at solo leveling, there was not a ton of time between those heroes, and I know a lot of players are really struggling with building out the heroes in their entirety. Awakened Beast, I'll never go back to this game. It's interesting, Dream, and they released an entire new system. And again, the big thing that they're doing, and where I feel like the big miss was, because I feel very similar, Dream, is when we looked at a new system, when we looked at something that came out like the Draconic heroes, they have to provide a little bit more access to it. They can't exclusively just kind of lock it behind a paywall. It becomes incredibly frustrating for players that do enjoy the game, that kind of want to go through the game. It does kind of hold you back. I know there's a lot of players that have no problem spending a ton of money in AFK Arena. I know a lot of players, again, that get kind of frustrated because when it comes to those Highborn Draconic heroes, they might have 1, they might have 2 built, and that's all they have access to in their entirety. Now, I also got lucky with 2 of these chests in here. This is, of course, the one that we just picked up. We'll grab another copy of Flora. But I also got the Dream Chest. Now, this is one that was the very, very first time that I have ever seen this. And looking just in really utility, I thought about getting some of the cores, but I'm going to go in here and I'm going to pick up these chests itself. I got lucky again on the 10 pull. We pulled the dream chest out of here, but getting 120 of these epics, that's a lot. That is a lot for the epic emblem choice chest, just because these are ultra rare. They are very hard to get. I know red chest, you do get them a lot easier, but in those, they are a lot more difficult to get. Off topic, but I've been checking the guild shop daily for boots for Laios since his release, and I haven't gotten any. That should be a more consistent way of getting dim gear. Yes, Anthony. So if you guys remember, bad choice, red over silver. I get red all the time, Finn, and we do buy red out of the a couple different things that we get. We get red chests every day. I'm not too worried about the red versus the silver, just because I know there are a lot of heroes that still need that plus 40 signature item, which I don't have. Yeah, the dim gear. So Anthony, funny enough, you should mention that. Let me pop these open. Probably just going to be recycled, which is what I'm assuming. Let's see if we can get, possibly, fingers crossed, guys, we can get an awakened hero out of here, which we do not, unfortunately. That's just going to be all recycled again. But when we had Arthur, so again, if you've been watching my channel for the years that we have been creating videos, when we had Arthur, and you'll notice right here, we had all of his dim gear once upon a time. We were trying to get Arthur's weapon, and just like what you're saying, Anthony, it took me about 7 months before we got Arthur's weapon with the dimensional gear. It was just asinine that every single day we went in there, every single day we were looking for Arthur's. It was months and months and months before we seen Arthur's, which I believe in the shop itself. Now there's 2 places. I thought there was more than one place in here that you could get dimensional gear, because I remember when we were in the guild store before, there was only one single slot that you could get dimensional gear, and even in here we don't have any. I'm not sure if it is still just that one single slot, which I think it might be this slot, that you can get dimensional gear, or if you can get them out. Again, I haven't paid enough attention to really see if you could get anything in there, but I agree with you completely, Anthony. It was so frustrating to go in there month after month after month, trying to get Arthur's weapon, and I never ever got those. What do you think is more important between Vithiel or Saramira? They're both used in the Nightmare Corridor. I feel like Saramira, you'll see more utility out of the Treasure Scramble. We are seeing her in some of those Treasure Scramble teams, Yoshi, where I do not use Vithiel anywhere. I am still using her in a couple different places, again, including the Treasure Scramble. I believe last iteration she was in there. They upsell silver 200% compared to reds, but the value is 1.5, 1.6 is the most. Oh, then maybe we should have got the red. If we're looking at it mathematically, definitely should have gotten the red then. Sometimes I use like 20k diamonds on dim gear. Why are you using diamonds on dim gear? Not sure about that one, on why we're using diamonds for dim gear. Guys, when you get to a certain level, the gear itself that you're putting on these heroes doesn't have quite the impact that we see with some of the other places or some of the other gear. I don't even worry about using, and I don't know why 20,000 diamonds on dim gear to reset the shop. I would wait. There's no hurry, guys. There's nowhere that I'm aware of the dream in AFK Arena that having one piece of dimensional gear is going to be an absolute game changer when you come through here for any of the heroes in AFK Arena, considering they're all wearing tier 3 instead of tier 4. Again, I feel like saving 20,000 diamonds, using those 20,000 diamonds elsewhere might be a lot more beneficial. But if you got the diamonds and you know what, you're stacking diamonds like we kind of are here, go ahead and build it. Why not? Why not go ahead and build it at all? I do not reset the shops, and I really don't. I don't reset the shops. I don't use it. Can you suggest a good E60 investment for each faction? Need high priority? Should I go for Sun Jin Woo, Ja, Saramira, Misha, Palmer, or save them for the new Waken? Highborn, currently Skyland is at Mythic Plus. So for the engraving, if Skyland's already at Mythic Plus, Skyland needs it to really perform. And we, again, we kind of talked about this a little bit before. When it comes to your Draconic heroes, heroes like Skyland absolutely need to be built out, and absolutely need to be built out very, very high if you're building them out. The exact same thing is true with like a Scion. Scion needs to be built out very high to get the damage that you need out of there. If you're looking at Sun Jin Woo, don't engrave Palmer too far. Yeah, just like what Finn said. Palmer, yeah, he's absolutely starting to fall out of the picture. Misha, Saramina, Sun Jin Woo, Sha, they're being used, and it's going to be interesting. And honestly, Tushar, I would probably wait, because one thing that a lot of players were saying, and I know Sibo, again, a lot of the larger whale players were talking about Shahan and the damage that she's doing, with the ability to have divine damage, but the ability to raise the damage cap that we're seeing in a bunch of different game modes. They're saying that out of here, you could go in and we could see a lot more utility out of a hero like Shahan as a damage dealer, with those caps being much higher. We might see, again, a little bit more viability with some of the heroes. And with the dynamic division that is coming up, wait to see where it lands. It always changes a lot of stuff when we go in here with those dynamic divisions within the hellscape itself. So we're going to have to see exactly what that looks like with those divisions and see exactly what we get. Now, Star Zone, this is a place where I come in here and I love farming this. We're in what, number 2, no meteorites available. So we're in second right now. I just go through, we try to grab one of these bigger nodes and we'll farm it out. I would rather come in here and farm a node than not do anything at all. There are a lot of players, unfortunately, even at this level, that are completely and totally inactive in here. They don't even try to do or try to farm any nodes at all. Going in here, yeah, I definitely would go in. And I know I have to reset my teams, guys. These are old school teams. But there we go. So we get another 18. We're kind of catching them. 400 a minute versus 162. So we already have all of our chests out of here. We've already got them in their entirety. I think even the personal chests, I think we're already caught up on all those. And we got all the chests. So Star Zone's pretty much done. I would like to score a little bit higher. So we'll make sure we'll go in there. We'll finish that out in the entirety to go through there. I'll reset lab as soon as I have enough for red chests. Oh, are you just buying them all out of there? So the big thing, how do you still have diamonds? Oh, diamonds. With all those highboards and dims over and over, I have a stupid amount of diamonds recently. Oh, there you go. Diamonds are for buying red chests in the labyrinth store. So if you want, yeah, I've seen that a lot. Yeah, always doing when you're going through and running the arcane labyrinth. And is it the yellow that you buy? I remember there's like a yellow and a red. We ran through this, but making sure you buy, I believe it was the yellow one that you buy, the red one you don't. Yeah, red chest and labyrinth costs about 5 to 10K every 2 days, which is kind of crazy. And then resetting the shops. So how do you still have diamonds? Just want to say that I've loved your free-to-play account video because I'm just following along as a new player. Oh, thank you, Lou. That is awesome. Yeah, guys, the free-to-play account, and a lot of players kind of questioned why we made it. It's a really big, different take on AFK Arena when you come in here, when you run some things that's free-to-play, especially because it's been a long time since we've done the free-to-play account. It's very cool to see. It's almost a different type of feeling when you start a new free-to-play account every couple years, just because you get to test it with new heroes. Like we wanted to go in there and we wanted to try and see kind of where Alvita was, if she was able to pull, which unfortunately she is not able to really carry a lot of content early. She doesn't do the damage that we see of like a Randy or like a Damon or Shamira, which we did. Hey, should I invest in Garen? Not sure who that is. Garen Gavis? Not sure. Let me know, Ahmed. So Skrath is good in the test server or not? He appears. I would wait long. And if you're sitting on, and if you're waiting to build out these events, or excuse me, the new Awakened Heroes, wait. I always say this, wait and give it about 2 weeks, because when it comes to AFK Arena, when you look at the Treasure Scramble, the Nightmare Corridor, and the Cursed Realm, we have to wait till the new Awakened Heroes go through the entire cycle, the couple different cycles. Because remember, the Nightmare Corridor, the Cursed Realm, Treasure Scramble, they are on a rotation, like a weekly rotation. So you have to go through a couple different rotations in there until you can actually see what the hero does within different rotations. Because some, they might be used in every rotation. Some places they might not be used at all and not have a lot of utility anywhere, but you have to wait for those rotations. How does the mining event work? Am I just going to get 130 normal chests and 12 red ones? Yes. So the way that this works, and I'll break down kind of the loot you get within the Mystic Star Zone. So if you're coming in here and you're putting in your time every day, you will get the chests that are rewarded right here. So 130 right here, you do get the 12 different ones right here. And then depending where you rank, these are the bonus chests. So you will get them, Soldrin, and depending again where you rank, is this will give you 140, this will give you 15 if you rank in first place. These are the bonus chests that you get based on where you land. Like right now, like I said, we're in second. So when this event is done, we will get these bonus chests, these additional 12 chests that we got out of here. Once the event has concluded, you'll pick up the bonus chest, but this gives you a lot. And this red chest, if you guys have seen, nothing. We have never seen this chest through every single iteration that we have ever done of the Mystic Star Zone. We have never, ever, ever seen this chest on any of the accounts. And even when the Mystic Star Zone started, we were running it on the faction accounts. We were running it on a ton of different accounts. And unfortunately, we still have never seen that chest. The only place that I've seen it is screenshots on social media. But yes, we have never seen it in there at all. So Skrath is good. Yeah, Skrath, we're going to have to wait and see. Free to play is a nightmare since so many releases. New Mauler looks good. New Awaken. So it's, yeah, and that's the problem is a lot of these, you have to go in there and build a lot of different heroes. That's the problem is when we start looking at the heroes that we got and that we've been getting. So even here, guys, Alvita is being used in a couple places, the Awakened version of Estrella, absolutely. Then we look in here, we have Talmar, which is really good, and it is, oh, the cook, you mean Gorin. The Gorin the cook, again, when you start looking bigger picture, Gorin is still being used a couple different places. We're still seeing him with a little more utility, and honestly, with him, you're still going to see him, of course, in the Mauler Tower for an incredible amount of time, especially because they are not releasing regular 4 faction heroes like we've seen. Even now, I mean, we're at what, 3 this year? I think we're at 3 this year right now. He works pretty well. I would build Talmar right here. I would build Talmar long before I built Gorin, just because, again, utility-wise. And when you look at some of the heroes, a lot of them are kind of interchangeable with a bunch of those. Is Awakened Estrella the good build at the moment? Yes. The Awakened version of Estrella is still seeing a lot of utility. In some formations, she is the best in slot damage dealer. Run with Sun Jin Woo, run with Shahan. In some of the other comps, she is used as a buffer with the armor in there that we've seen. So again, depending on what she is being ran or what comp she is being run in, depends on what the utility we're seeing. And again, I know Finn had kind of talked about it. Yeah, used in all 3 rotations. And even looking at her is being a tank, being kind of a support tank that has a lot of the shielding mitigation, also has the ability to do more damage. It's a hero that utility-wise will stay around a little bit longer than we traditionally see, just because they have a lot of that support aspect within AFK Arena. And again, bigger picture, when you start looking at running 7 different teams and having to have the 35 heroes to run in those 7 different teams, heroes that have a multitude or really multifaceted utility, they can go into a lot of different teams. And you also have to think bigger picture. You know, do you have all the heroes built, which is huge? Is she a higher target than Envy? No. Envy is still the best in slot, guys, to build. This is the number 1 to build. Is she a higher priority, Awakened Estrella versus Envy? No, absolutely not. Envy is still the number 1 to build. Envy, and the reason being, when you look at Envy, he is best in slot, and he has an entire best in slot formation where he is the primary damage dealer. If you do not have Envy, unfortunately, that whole entire team is kind of scrapped because you don't have the ability or you don't have Envy. He is the damage dealer within a formation. And of course, utility-wise, he is being used everywhere, every single game mode, all 3 iterations. He is being used. Skrath is better than Envy. We'll have to see. And Vuvu, it really, it's pretty early to see. Is the New Awaken getting used on test server? I haven't looked at it, Drink. I haven't looked at it since he was really released, which I know was very early. So it's going to be interesting. What are the best heroes to build for early game? Early game, if you're going from the start, build up, and again, very early is build up Randy. Randy and Ivan do work incredibly well. If you pick up Rem, like I did over on the free to play account, we ran through, I believe we're almost to chapter 34 at this point. Very, very quickly. I could have run through a lot faster than I did, but all three of those heroes. And then we picked up Liberta, and then we also did pick up Envy, which again gives me team 3, team 4. We also picked up a single copy of Mahira, a couple other ones, which we'll hop over to the free to play account in just a minute. It just takes a long time. It does take a long time to do the summons to get everything going on there. Getting Awakened Chest is like getting 30k diamonds. Yeah, like I said, I've never seen it at this point. What furniture do I prioritize upgrading when it comes to Envy? I just got him to 9 of 9. I think with Envy, anything in there. So if you look at a hero like Envy, he is a hero that, and again, I'm trying to remember from like our tier list from the Oaken. I believe with Envy and looking at building his furniture higher, that you can actually build him with any of the furniture. When you start building him up a lot higher, I don't think it makes a huge difference. Which I think it was the middle furniture. I'd have to look back at our notes to see, but I know all 3 sets of Envy's furniture was very, very strong. Even here, there's the +2, which that is in, I believe, what, the large furniture? I think that's the large furniture. We have the +2, and this we have the +1s right there. And then in here, we don't have any. So building out that large furniture, if you're building them higher than that 9 of 9, it can make a big difference because all of the furniture he possesses gives him a lot more stats in there. Early game 4 months, late game 2 months. Yeah, it's pretty quick when you're going through there. Is it possible that I get 140 boxes? I don't believe this. You do, Mustafa. When you go through there, you'll see and how easy it is. How long do you think? Yeah, it'll take you to 1-star Envy. So the big thing is, if you're looking at 1-starring Envy, really the big thing in there is how fast you farm the towers. That's it. Rem doesn't seem to do much damage even when she is ascended at 2-star. Mine does incredibly well. Going through, and I'll hop over on the free to play account, guys. This is where I've been pushing, and Rem has been doing well, even going through there in a lot of different game modes. And again, when you think of a hero like Rem is a older hero for AFK Arena. Rem has been out for a considerable amount of time. Is she going to do as much damage as a new hero? A new hero? Probably not at all. The reason being, again, kind of the power creep where she kind of scales. Fundamentally, does she work? Yes, just like we see with the regular heroes in AFK Arena. And thinking of the campaign, or the campaign hasn't changed. When you think of all of the hero releases, everything we've seen, even the Awakened heroes, Skrath, the Draconic heroes, everything in its entirety, the campaign has not changed as they continue making a lot more progression. Even there is Randy and Ivan. Team number 2 right there is Rem, top damage dealer right there, which again, when you think of Mira was released way after Rem, meaning that Mira is going to have a lot higher combat rating than we see with Rem. And then the third team in here is running Envy, which again, that's normally what we have as our third team. And that's exactly what I've been running. So we do have Rem right there. We also do have Envy, which I got at Mythic, just needs some more signature item. Even in here, we are running Liberta. And then we do have Randy, we have Ivan, and a couple others that we're building up just through time. Makes a big difference. It really does just take time. Impossible, you mentioned my name correctly. For my followers in the Middle East, you're one of the best content creators in this game. Oh, thank you guys. I love doing it. It's such an incredible time to come in here and be able to talk to you guys about AFK Arena, because I've said this before. You guys are literally the only ones in my life that I talk about AFK Arena. I want to go in here. I want to be able to not only share everything that we love about this game, but also what's coming, you know, what we're seeing in the changes and what is going on. I forgot we had the survey out there. So it looks like a lot of people are going to wait and see and then build them ASAP. If you got the cards, might be worth it. But again, we've said before, kind of time and time again, is prioritize your heroes. So even now, again, thinking of the way that we're building this, Right here we have Liberta. Liberta was built up. We're working on building up a signature item, getting it to 30. And then once Liberta gets to 1 star, once he gets his signature item, we get the furniture, we get the engraving. Liberta goes on the shelf and he is going to stay with whatever he has. He is going to stay. The exact same with Envy. So once we do build up Envy, we get him to 1 star. We build him up a little bit more. Once we do the furniture, once we get the engraving, Envy goes on the shelf. And I build the heroes in here systematically, and I build them one by one by one. It does, again, it systematically takes time, but if you're going in here and you're building a bunch of heroes at the same time, you're not going to see utility in a majority of the heroes because they are not built up to where they need to be to really be successful, and where they need to be to have, again, the signature items, the engraving, the heroes. You build them up to a certain point, then they're kind of finished. You put them in that kind of finished bucket, and then you just churn heroes as players that have been free to play for 6 years, that have pretty much a majority of everyone built, and newer players like this account right here that's about 45 days old. We're starting to get a lot more progression, a lot more heroes in here. And as we kind of churn and burn the heroes, we're going to build them out and really develop them in their entirety. It only takes 10 minutes to 1 star hero. Yeah, push the towers. I have always said that from the beginning, and I will always, always say that, guys. The King's Tower, this is where you get everything you need to in AFK Arena. When you're going through here and you're making progression, these towers are going to feed you everything you need to make progression. That's why we say right off the bat, when you're summoning heroes, when you're using those diamonds to summon heroes, roughly going in here and making sure that when you're building out heroes, that you have like 2 or 3 ascended heroes of each faction. That will give you the ability to go through here and actually make a lot of progression in the towers. The towers will feed you everything you need for progression. You get your gold in here, you get all of those cards, you get your time emblems, you get your Stargazer scrolls. There are so many things that you get out of these towers. Do not ignore them. They are the absolute game-changing, and really the difference between making progression in a decent amount of time and falling behind is going in there and farming your towers every single time. From what I've seen so far on the test server, Skrath's going to need a 40. That's what most of them are. It's really tough. Even looking at like Sun Jin Woo, looking at Shahan, looking at a lot of them, guys, the SI 40, unfortunately, for a majority of them, seems like it has come almost mandatory for so many different places in AFK Arena. It's kind of crazy. It is kind of crazy how much we have seen. I ran through here again, been running through that Arcane Labyrinth all of the time. I think in the store, we picked up all of our purchases. Unfortunately, the resets are gone. So let's do some summons in here and see if we can get lucky in here. The Maulers are meh. Yeah, the dream. It's funny because that has been the last 6 years of the running joke for the Maulers, and it was really bad when they only had Namisu as support, and Namisu didn't do incredibly well. It was kind of crazy. Are there any good teams for AE yet? The Abyssal Expedition, yeah. I mean, the teams are pretty much set, Frank, because when it comes to the next iteration of the Abyssal Expedition, it is going to be the exact same teams because it's the exact same boss. Now, we don't know if that awakened version of Skrath, we don't know if there are going to be a couple little variations or a couple little changes in there just based on the new hero releases. If Telemar is going to be used, if we're going to see, a lot of utility out of Sun Jin Woo, are we going to see it out of Shahan? Those are going to be the variables that we're going to actually have to test once we do get out there. And there we go, guys. There's another elite, another copy of Misha. She is one that we are taking, I believe, to 3 stars. It's either 3 stars or 5 stars on there because, of course, she is very dependent on defense. Defense is massive for her. The higher you build her, the better that it's going to perform in there. There's a copy of Raku, and I loved Raku. Raku was such a very interesting dynamic with the crowd control and the damage amplification. And there's a copy of Jerome. I think Jerome, last time we were here, we got Jerome up to Ascended, and still waiting for that awakened hero. Maybe someday out of this account, we will pull one, which unfortunately we have not yet. We got one out of the stones, but we haven't pulled one out of here yet. Greetings to you, my brother. We already seen that. Yeah. My last request is to mention my name, Mustafa. So I work with an individual, and her son's name is Mustafa. That's where I hear it from a lot. I know he's and a big shout out if they're watching or listening. He's in medical school, so again, best of luck to him. I know how incredibly difficult it is. I know I definitely passed on him and building Envy, then the Light Bearer with the horse. Yeah, Estrilda, Sunrise. That definitely works. Should I build Alna? Because it seems like it'll take a lot of time. So most players are building Alna out of the store, including my account right here, guys. I am building Alna out of the store. And look at that. We got another copy of Liberta. We are getting so much closer. But yeah, Alna, again, Alna's utility isn't really in the hero itself. It's the cheat death for the other team, which is kind of crazy. But that is where Alna gets the utility, is the 9 of 9 furniture. That is the game changer. And as we're continuing, and I like that I can farm the towers while I just kind of run this through. It works incredibly well because I know, looking at where we are with the Greyborn heroes, we can just let it run. Even here, guys, I'm building up, I believe right now we're building up Mira. We need one more copy, so one more copy of food. Mira will be up to that mythic plus, meaning we only need more copies to get her to ascended. Then we're going to go ahead, we're going to build Brawn, and we're going to continue just rolling through those heroes. What's going on, JC Gamer? Prepared having the MP collection on Valfira for AE. There we go. So there's a prep from Finn, and I know Finn is a huge player in the Abyssal Expedition. All right, can we pull one more out of here? Could we get another? Could we get a double, maybe a triple? And there we go, guys, another one. I think we're 2 copies away from getting Liberta up to Ascended. So we are getting very close to having him built up in the entirety. And we know we still just need a lot more copies when it comes to Envy, but the Temple of Time. And with the release of that awakened version of Skrath, we get about 100 time emblems, because you do get the discounted ones. You get all of the events around him. So being able to come in here and look, Estrilda and Vidil, those are 2 very prominent heroes within AFK Arena. Definitely building those out. And of course, I still need to get some more resources to build him out with the signature item, but it comes in time. That's really it. It is either going to be, and those are the 2, either it's going to be time or it's going to be money when you're building out these heroes. That's the only way to really move it faster, is going through there if it's time or money. I remember when you pulled for Lucretia, I got her like every 20 pulls. Oh, that is awesome. What's going on, Kooky? How are you? Doing incredibly well. If you guys haven't seen, it's kind of crazy over on the finance channel, guys. We are coming up to 8,000 subscribers on the finance channel. And it's also funny because a lot of players from AFK Arena have joined me on the finance channel. A lot of them do comment over there. So it's really cool to see kind of the crossover of both worlds. But it's going incredibly well over there. I really like how they did the dimensionals now, because it's easy to forget that you could redeem them because they sit there for 2 months. Yes. So that is the reason why we had given them a crazy amount of feedback, JC, about allowing us to exchange faster and then getting these kind of parked in here in the chest that you're guaranteed without having to really monitor and really save your resources for a, in my opinion, stupid amount of time before you have the ability to go ahead and redeem those. Insufficient combat rating. Oh, we're stuck at the combat rating wall. Again, this is unfortunately, we see a lot. There was a copy of Naru, double copies in there, which we get Chubby Bunny of Rigby. I was hoping they would do a Santa Claus skin on him, but unfortunately they have not. But Rigby, yeah, combat rating. I've been running into the combat rating wall. Only time that I've been getting over there is when I'm going through and actually being able to gain a couple more levels. Got a couple more stones, which gives us a copy of Mira. That will be, might be able to build her up a little bit further. Got Entendre in there, got some more elites. Nothing else to build in there. That's okay. All right, so combat rating. Let's go in the Resonating Crystal. Let's level this up. Now we know the Misty Valley also did reset. That is a place 100%, guys. You have to farm that Misty Valley all of the time. And going through there, it is really making a big difference. I think my account is very lucky because I got like 3 Libertas the first time. That is awesome. Who do I do after Envy, Awakened Athalia? Um, right now, I would probably wait. Now, the reason being, when you built out Envy, and if you have Envy already built out, the Awakened version of Estrilda has a ton of utility. The Awakened version of Athalia has a lot of utility, but we don't know where Skrath is going to be right now. That's what I really see, and I want to see where he's going to be. And of course, if you're saving some of those time emblems, you can always circle back. You can build Athalia, you can build Estrilda. Right now, I would probably wait after Envy, see where the Awakened version of Skrath really does place, and then we'll go from there exactly what it looks like. Which Awakener do you recommend to focus on? The only Ascended I have is Belinda. Envy. Envy is the one, guys, like we said earlier, this is one that you 100% want to build as soon as possible. He is just absolutely broken with how fast he can burn through formations. There's the plus 10, there's the plus 20, and of course, we are taking him to the plus 30. Just going to have to wait to see when we get a little bit more resources. Liberta will be first. I think we have 2 more levels in here, and then, yep, then he will be done. That will move over to Envy. And then again, like I said, we'll just continue going through all of these. There's some red chests and Stargazer Scrolls. Did it give us the rewards? I'm wondering if we got more out of here. Yeah, another 5. Another 5 out of those levels that we just picked up. Also got some more resources. Maybe we can get another copy of Liberta out of here. Maybe. Every pull, guys, remember, is one closer. But getting these cards, getting heroes out of there, again, it's just the accumulation of everything we do. There's a copy of Kelthar. He used to be super pivotal when the Thorin Cheese was absolutely vital. And players used it all the time. A lot of players still use Thorin Cheese, but we're going to have to see what it looks like. What's going on, Madhu? How are you doing well today? What does Envy do? I'm coming back to the game, a very casual player. So Envy is very similar to what we've seen with Lucretia. Envy has the ability to just absolutely train wreck people. So every time right here, the enemy hero that is reduced by a debuff, he gets more damage, and he has the ability to solo with the ability to buff himself. So he is very, very broken. He's the #1 priority right now, Khalid, in AFK Arena, because he is best in slot in a crazy amount of formations. Even looking at guild bosses, he's best in slot in those comps. He is a hero that is very broken across a multitude of game modes. And that's the reason why you want to build him, is his damage is insane. And he kind of buffs himself again, like we've seen with that Awakened version of Lucretia. It does work incredibly well. What collection do you recommend for Talmar? It depends on what you're fighting. And that's where I know collection-wise, and I know Finn can kind of attest this, so can the Dream. When it comes to collections, it depends what game mode you're using the hero in. It used to be, when we had Dura's collections, that you could get a collection. It was more of a set it and forget it. You were good with a collection. As it sits right now, even looking at a majority of these heroes, it makes a difference on what you're running. Because even looking at, like, let's say you want to amplify damage, like you're in a Nightmare Corridor, a lot of times it's going to be Rain's collection works incredibly well. If you're running in the Treasure Scramble, you want to run Tassie's collection, because again, this is going to do incredibly well with the cheat death. And if you're looking at running like a Cursed Realm, a lot of players will run Rowan's collection in there. We still do see a lot of Rain's collection, but Rain's collection actually does have a cap. So you just kind of build all of the collections in there and see where it comes from and where you're going to use it. Again, there's no, hey, I put a collection on Talmar, it's going to be the one that I'm using for everything in AFK Arena. Unfortunately, that really doesn't exist anymore, because it depends what game mode you're using the hero in. And again, that will have a really big factor on what you're using, or where you're using it, or really how you're using it in there. Yeah. I just started my account a few days ago, chapter 24. Is it okay if I build Athalia before Envy? You can. I mean, again, Envy's pretty broken overall when you look at the build itself. You'll see Envy being used a lot of other places before that Awakened version of Athalia. You'll see him put in formations. But again, if you don't have Envy, the Awakened version of Athalia held a lot of those formations even before we seen Envy. They were used in a lot of different places. But yeah, Envy owns this game. There you go. So the Dream just put it in there. It's really, really he can crush a lot of content, guys. He really does. And I might have to put some gear on him. I didn't even think about it before we started. But of course, you can drop this in here and then just hop out and let it run. You can go do whatever else you need to in here. Is Mortis still a good hero? Not really used many places. I mean, maybe a one-off if you don't have any of the other buffers. Mortis at this point, short of probably tower formation, I don't see anywhere he's going to be used. Even looking at Nox, looking at Lava Tune, looking at a couple of our hypos, Mortis is just so far back when it comes to power creep, when it comes to the ability to really buff a lot of heroes. Maybe one copy in there. If you have it, it'll work well. If you have Envy, Envy will run the towers himself. That's the thing. If you go in there with Envy and having Envy built, he will run the towers by himself. And again, I probably have to put gear on him, but he'll do it himself. He will do it himself. When is the new Awaken coming? It'll be Tuesday. So Madhu, you have 2 more days. So tomorrow will be the patch notes up on the global server. And then of course, Tuesday, we will see the new hero that is up in there. I cleared 60 hypo floors today, Envy with 1 team. Yeah, and that's it. Seal and Nox. And if you're unfamiliar, guys, when it comes to Nox, if you're building out Nox with the Slumbering Seal, again, that is another combination that is super, super broken because the Seal does a crazy amount of damage and they can't kill Nox. If you have Nox, especially when Nox gets a plus 60 engraving, Nox is almost impossible to kill. Nox is soloing. And even if you haven't seen Dream, Nox was actually soloing, which silly as it may seem, he was soloing campaign formations with just running Nox together with the Seal. Now, of course, this is going to stop the battle over there, but they were going in there, which is kind of crazy because Nox and the Seal were clearing campaign stages just with those two. Can I see the pet wish list? Can we see the pet wish list? Yeah, I can show you the wish list. So for the beasts, the way that we're running this, and if you remember the new player guide, going in here, there is a very, very specific way within the beast ground to build these up. Even here, oh, we got another copy of the Seal. Let's go ahead and throw the Seal in here. Again, I'm going to go for, let's go with intelligence. Or no, that's right. I finished his training. I forgot his basic training was up. But looking at the wish list in here, the Seal. So if you look at here, and really the big part of this in this wish list for the beast itself is the Slumbering Seal. So as you can see right here, we have the Slumbering Seal in this first slot. The Slumbering Seal, for both of you guys that asked for the wish list, this Slumbering Seal will still stay in here in the wish list until the Slumbering Seal is 18. That is going to be a long time before the Slumbering Seal is at 18, but the Seal is going to stay here to 18. And depending on how you're building it, because what we're doing here is, again, if you remember in looking here, we have a couple 3s, a couple 2s, a couple 1s, is we're building very specific beasts based on the new player guide. And if you look at the guide section and if you look at the video, once we get to the point of building out all of these specific beasts to their specific level, when we do Beast Resonance level 6, it will take the Seal to 18. It's kind of broken how it works, but they will credit you back secret spices for all of these heroes we've already built right here, like the Trickery Chest in Talisman. All of these that we built up that are not going to level 6, there's a point where we will do the Beast level to Resonant level 6. It's not going to be for a considerable amount of time because when we do the reset, it will actually allow me to take the Slumbering Seal all the way to level 18 based on the baits, which I know it's going to take a long time to get there. But once the beasts are done, they are done in their entirety. They will be done in their entirety, again, based on it. The Owl and Panda are must-have. Yep, and they're in the rotation. So first one was Trickery Chest going to 3. Then, of course, the Seal has been sitting in there. I believe Talisman, we're getting to 3, and also looking at the Treat Spectator, we're getting to 3. Then the Panda are going in there. Then the Owl are going in there. Again, excuse me. there's a very specific way to build these. Then they'll all go to 6. That will give me enough pet spices or secret spices to take the slumbering seal up to 18. And then we'll take it up from there and move all them to 6 to 9 to 12, so on and so forth, based on the build. And really based on the priority of the beast. Again, not super streamlined when it comes to building them, but all of these, they're going to give us rebates back, which is good. I upgraded pets 3 levels at a time after 18. Yep, and that's it, Dream. So again, there's systematically a way that you can do this with the utilization of the secret spice, getting a few of these beasts up to level 3 like we have right here, getting a few of these up to level 6, and then waiting to the point when we do that beast residence up to level 6, the slumbering seal, like I said, will go to 18. And that's it. Where do you get more essence? Honestly, the easiest place and the quickest place to get essence right here. Towers. Guys, that is 4,000 essence right off the bat. And then, of course, looking at the King's Tower itself, you get essence every floor. Every single floor through the King's Tower, you get essence, you get diamonds, you get stones, you get rare stones, you get a crazy amount of resources when you're going through here and you're farming out the towers itself. That's, again, big full circle why we say towers, towers, towers. Going through making tower progression early is going to be super and really super intuitive to pushing a lot more progression in AFK Arena. In here, that's the reason, again, when we start looking at these 24-hour chests, when we look at the essence chest, when I look at my Stargazer scrolls, even looking at my time emblems, this is the reason I don't save any of these. If you're sitting on time emblems, if you're sitting on Stargazer scrolls, the chances are you could have more resources to go ahead and build whoever you want to or whoever you need to versus sitting on the resources itself. The only caveat or the only one I would not do this with is going in here and doing the Dragon Heart Temple. We have 156. We are waiting in here until we get 700 Draconic Insignias. At that point of getting 700 Draconic Insignias, we are going to look to see what Draconic hero is best in slot. We're going to go ahead and drop all 700 Insignias to build them, which I know it's going to take a long time, but we're going to build them all together. And then we'll just continue, again, kind of that rotation, going through and building them out in the entirety. Now, the Dragonforge Trials, we did finish out number 1, haven't got to number 2, because as of right now, we do not have any scrolls, and I am only using scrolls. I am not using diamonds for anything in here, even with the wish list. I don't want to use them until we get to the point of having the heroes that we're looking for out of here with the regular summons and getting in there. Another question, I have Liberta 1-star Ascended. I'm working on Demia. Who should I focus on the Stargazing room after? Make sure you remember that within the Stargazer room itself is you're also going to have to add your additional copies of any of the Awakened heroes. So once I get Envy up to Ascended, Envy at that point is going to come over to the Stargazer. We are going to have to finish off Envy from Ascended to the 1-star, going through and using the Stargazer. So even if you're working on Demia, make sure you kind of build in the point where you're going to have to get the 1-star for the Awakened heroes in there without completely overlooking them and then setting your account back because you don't have engraving on some of these 1-star heroes like Envy that absolutely need the engraving to unlock the rest of the skills and abilities he possesses. He does really need that engraving in there and having that done. What's going on, Kiwin? Thank you guys for joining us, and thank you for joining me for the stream. It's awesome to see everybody in here. Do you do fan account polls? Frank, we haven't done it in a long time. We haven't, and I believe I did it with Mickey last time. I don't even think Mickey plays anymore. It's been a crazy amount of time that I've seen Mickey, that I've seen D2, that I've seen Mesmer. I know a lot of people have been kind of crazy busy right now. But yeah, I have done account polls in the past. Even here, more gold, boom, we'll go ahead and lock that. I'm saving my diamonds, not going to burn them on there. But I have done account polls in the past, but I'm always kind of cautious because I need full access to your account, meaning username, password, stuff like that. Yeah, I'm totally saving up for the Awakened Grez. If they did the Awakened Grez, guys, that would be broken. I'm still wondering, So even thinking in here, who is going to be, you know, the awakened hero we're going to see for the Wilders? Who is going to be the awakened hero we see with the Graveborns? Is it or could it be Grez? If we do see a copy, you know, an awakened version of Grez, that would be kind of pivotal because Grez was used for a crazy amount of time within AFK Arena. He was very, very cool to see in all of the places that we used him. And really, I mean, years. He was used for years within AFK Arena. If you've been playing this for a while, Grez was super pivotal in a ton of different content, which again, is very cool to see. In here, even early game, even going into mid or late game, clearing out the Misty Valley is super easy. Yeah, we can hope. We can definitely hope. People still use Grez. Yeah, I see him every now and then, JC. So every now and then we see the original version of Baden. We see the original version of Grez. And even now we see a couple, like a Vika pops up, you know, every now and then. And it's one specific boss. It's one specific formation that we're seeing them. Yeah, I still see it every now and then. And of course, with the big thing, JC and the Dream with Grez being used is, again, it goes back to, and you guys have to realize, and I really try to stress this, is when it comes to heroes in AFK Arena and meta formations are great and they work very, very well if you have all the heroes. If you're going through and you're missing, let's say, like a Saramira, or you're missing a Valfura, or you're missing a couple other heroes, that will make and put really a lot more emphasis on the heroes that you do have, on the support heroes that you currently do possess, because you don't have those other heroes. And again, when we start looking at meta formations are based on every single hero in AFK Arena. They're based on whale formations. They're based on you as a player having every single hero within AFK Arena, which for a majority of players is not true at all. That you're going to have every single hero within there. Let me see if I have Isabella. Is she down here somewhere? I don't think I do. I don't think we've unlocked Isabella. I'm going to have to see, because that would have been a random pull if we got a copy of her in here, which we do not. We do not. So unfortunately, we're not going to be able to grab that one. But like I was saying, with meta formations, it does make a big difference, because that is kind of based on the basis of you having every hero in AFK Arena. When you start missing some of those higher support heroes, even some of the awakened heroes, it really makes a big difference, because you have to use the heroes you have, which is the reason why a majority of the guides and everything we put out have a ton of heroes that are kind of the supplement or the support heroes in there, or the substitute heroes, to really build them out and making sure that you guys can actually build some of those comps. I have one copy of Ivan. Should I switch it with Ascended Palmer? I mean, Palmer, you're still going to build Ivan. If you're earlier game and you swap Palmer and Ivan, Ivan's going to carry you for a ton, and you can just rebuild Palmer. You could definitely do that. It would work. So all support heroes must be on the back line. But ultimately, again, you're going to use Palmer just for the fact that it's going to be another case where you don't have everyone built in their entirety. So it is going to take a lot more time to get them built up. But yeah, if you swap Palmer with Ivan, again, Ivan's going to carry you. I run Ivan right now together with Rem, and then Randy runs alone, works super, super well in formations and pushing through a lot more content. And again, I think, Madhu, that your account is relatively new, or you're newer to AFK Arena. Yeah, the combination of both of those together will work incredibly well. I didn't see, what do we need? We need Maulers and Defeat in 15 seconds. Pretty easy when you're running Athalia in here to go ahead and just literally crush all the heroes in here. I would love if you would make some of the hero deep dive shorts, because I see you only making shorts on Engraving and SI. And oh, love you make some of the hero deep dives. We can do the deep dives on shorts. They're so short though. It's harder when you have some of the content in there and going through, yeah, doing some of the more deeper dives. Do you mean like into what formations that are being used, where they're being used, stuff like that? I'm thinking that that's kind of what you mean with the deeper dives in there, with where the heroes are being used. Because I know even Rakude and a couple other players have put kind of those deeper dive guides to what the hero does, how the hero works, kind of more of the functionality, a lot more of the collections. Oh, the hero skills. Yeah, we could do some on the hero skills. We could go through there. So who do we got? We have Oscar and we have Desira. Ooh, I don't know. I have Oscar. So there's Oscar. Do I have Desira? Maybe another one. We do. We do have both of them. Very cool. I'm gonna have to see because I might have to pick up a copy of Isabella to be able to finish that first one. But we can cheese it even here with level 1 to go ahead and unlock that in the entirety. And like I said earlier, guys, go in here and do all of this. You get just some insane amount of loot out of doing something that's easy. Literally, Garrison or Mercenary, one of the heroes, borrow it from a friend, whatever you have to do. Even looking at like the Solemn Vow, you can go through here with one and just run it through. I also run the Valley with the Awakened Athalia. It's so easy, Dream. It is so easy to do it with her because of the burst. If you go in here with Envy, it does take a little bit. It's a little more difficult with a couple other heroes. Going through with Athalia just literally bursts through the content because she is such a strong burst hero. So she lands, boom, she ults, deletes everyone within 4 seconds. It's that easy. That's the reason I always do it. No tank, no warrior in a formation. All right. So no tank. We know Athalia is a warrior. So no tank, no warrior. Let's see what we can do with some of our support heroes. There we go. They should be able to get it done. There we go. Trickery chest. Now also remember, guys, this is another game mode where if you remember the Misty Valley, when the Misty Valley came out, the Misty Valley was very, very difficult. A lot of players couldn't even get past the first floor. So literally the first stage, you couldn't get past. Then they nerfed it. When they nerfed it into almost oblivion. They made it very easy to get through all of the content and you could burn through a ton of it very fast. But yeah, the very beginning when Misty Valley came out, the first day, most players couldn't get past the very first part of it. And it was kind of funny to see because they were stuck. They just got absolutely crushed at the very. Any tips for Celestial Hypos are good from the Challenger store? Honestly, out of there, they need to update it. They really do need to update a lot more of the Challenger store. So you said you already have Alna out of there. Even after you have Alna, probably Orthos. I mean, this would probably be the second one. Even looking down here, Mulan, most of these are not really used anymore at all. But I know Orthos, as we know right now, because of Orthos and the Liberta with the cheese formation, having Orthos, and Orthos is the same as we see with Alna. Orthos does need the 9 of 9 furniture so the other heroes can move or the ranged heroes can move with that 9 of 9 furniture. Doesn't need engraving. Same as Alna doesn't need engraving. Other than that, you could probably do Mortis would be the other one that I might pick after you do Orthos. But even looking at what we have right now, yeah, it is Alna and it is Orthos. And those are the two that you want to build at all. If you happen to know where I find a more up-to-date Ghoulish Gallery tutorial, I was playing before they added it. If you want to, Gabby, you can look down in the guide section. I believe I have it broken out kind of 2 or 3 different ways if you go to the guide section. So one of the tutorials is running through the actual Ghoulish Gallery. I ran this in a couple different videos. I'm going through here. I did also cover all the guides that Rakude and Arkman put out for all of the specific collections. So when you're looking, and Gabby, I would look at, let's say you're looking at Zafriel's collection right here, pull up the video that has, and I believe the thumbnail is a picture of the collection and a picture of Zafriel. And it says the name of the guide, like the Storm's Wrath Lull or the Zafriel's collection. If you're looking to build out this one, it literally goes step by step by step how to build them. It makes it a lot easier when you're going through there. It shows what tomes to use, what skills you're looking for. And again, you can watch one of those, and we have one of those for every single collection, including the North collections that we have right here. So if you're looking for a specific hero, like let's say, for instance, you're over here and you're building out Envy. Envy we know is a ranger. What is the collection going to look like when we're in the Ghoulish Gallery and we're building out Thane's collection? which is going to be a priority right here. So when we're building out Thane's collection, what does it look like for the skills and abilities? It's going to be in there, Gabby. It is in there. So look for the specific collection, and it will break it down systematically through that entire guide. Honestly, I feel like new heroes are not as well designed as older. I don't feel like they have quite the design, but I feel like they're pumping them out a lot faster with a lot of the same designs. That's what I don't really like, JC. A lot of the heroes have a cheat death. A lot of the heroes have an increase to damage or a decrease to the enemy's defense. A lot of the heroes are just kind of a very very same feel or very same tweak to the skills and abilities they possess. I feel like when we got heroes like Nara, that was an absolute game changer. Fundamentally, the hero works in a way that nobody else really did. Athalia for targeting heroes, even looking at the Awakened or the original version of Taylene and the ability to come back to life. You know, the way some of these heroes were built, they fundamentally worked in such a way that no other hero possessed or did what they could do. And I feel like JC, they don't do that anymore. I feel like the heroes are kind of just through the same vein and through the same path. And there's nothing super unique about them, which I don't like. I feel like if they really made them and spent a little bit more time instead of pumping them out every 2 weeks, we could have a lot of heroes that have unique skills and abilities that might fill a niche formation. But I feel like, again, a while ago, they put a lot more time and effort into it. How can you be so polite and well explaining Hippo? Oh, thank you, Kevin. I love doing it, or Kiwin. I love doing it. It's awesome to be able to talk to you guys and go through it. And it's really, really cool to see, to be able to talk about AFK Arena, which, as you can see, guys, I love to play. I play this game every single day. We have played it for 6+ years at this point. And I'm not going anywhere. Even with the good things, the Ghoulish Gallery and all the other stuff that could be, you know, really put down as the bad things. It's still fun. It's still fun, and I'm interested to see exactly what's going to be coming up in the future. What is going on? So we need a necromancer hero, and that's it. So something like that drink would be awesome. Think of it for a minute and take this really with a grain of salt. So okay, so we have a hero like Grez, right? So thinking of what Drink in the Sights just said, so we have a hero like Grez, and Grez has the ability to summon minions. How about the Awakened version? Instead of summoning minions, he awakened or resurrected other heroes that were defeated in the battlefield and had them as the minions. You talk about something that would be unique, that would be awesome, like a necromancer or something like that. If instead of, you know, bringing up these skeleton minions like he did, if he would bring up dead heroes or heroes that are in combat, it would be awesome. It would be absolutely epic. If something like that was in formations, where even if it was a mix of his minions, and then if it would have been, if he would bring up heroes. And I know, Gabby, Sun Jin Woo, that's a very, very touchy point with so many players. And if you're unfamiliar, Gabby, before we're done here, they went with, and I guess I haven't watched Solo Leveling. I know it's on Crunchyroll, which I don't have access to, but Sun Jin Woo, they landed on, after going back with Solo Leveling and everything else, on the Sun Jin Woo that was in, I believe, the first 1 through 3 episodes. So they didn't use him. That was the very end game or the end of the anime series where he was the summoner and everything else he did. They decided to go with the very basic, I guess it was, again, like episode 1 through 3, the very, very basic beginning version of Sun Jin Woo. And they gave a big explanation on Reddit when the hero came out and why they didn't use it. But overall, I don't see, and I don't know why. They could have made it so much cooler than it was. And even a lot of players don't have access to the hero at all because, unfortunately, you cannot get the hero anymore. Yeah, it would be way too broken. But again, guys, look at a hero like Envy, JC Gamer. Envy is pretty broken. When you look at the ability for a hero to be dropped in the Hypo faction and then literally sweep every meta team that is in there, being put into every single formation, every single rotation of different things. Yeah, absolutely. Again, you could scale it back. You could make it work. There's a lot of different things. Is it good to buy Mulan, Leonardo, Arthur? A lot of people do just to unlock the red chest or the space emblems. So when you buy like Arthur within the shop, once you have them all the way, or once you buy them, they get replaced. So even down here where I am getting Robin Hood, when I build Robin Hood, this gets replaced from Emblems of Space. So does Joan of Arc, so does Baba Yaga. All of these do get replaced. Arthur, they get replaced by chests. The exact same in the Challenger store, where if you get Mulan, Leonardo, they actually get replaced when you have the hero. They get replaced by red chests, and then you can continue to buy them, Strupen. Through here, you'll get to the point where you don't need any heroes anymore, but you can use your Challenger coins or your Labyrinth tokens for those Emblems of Space or those red chests just based on who you got, and you can still use them. And what is happening, Ice Master? You know what? Let me hop over to, and I wanted to make sure I did not forget this. I want to hop over and actually do the gifting of the membership because I know I forgot it last time. Let me hop over and do the gifting before I forget it. And of course, for this, I do have to hop on to my finance channel. So you'll see it just pop up in a minute. It'll probably take a minute for the chat to load in here because it usually does. So let me give this just a minute to load up the chat, and then we can do the gifting of the membership. I love doing this. Seeing the little hippos right next to people's name for me is very, very cool to see. Come on, chat. We've done this before, and it used to let me just go ahead and gift the memberships here. Unfortunately, as of today, it does not. I can give myself super chats or super stickers, which is kind of silly, but it does not allow me to actually go in here and do the gifting of the memberships. I have to do an external account or a different account to actually do it. So there we go. Finally got it loaded up there. So let me go ahead and unlock the memberships or do the membership gifting itself. When was the last time they did a non-collab? It's been a while. It has really been a while since we have seen those. So the gifting of the membership should pop up in just a minute, guys. And then we'll be able to see them. Let me see. Boom, it's been announced. And there it is for the gifting of the membership. And again, that is from my finance channel. So if you need any financial education, definitely hop on there. That is my name. I am Dennis. But there's the gifting of the membership, guys, going to Enrico, and it looks like R-I-K-Y, Swiss African. There you go, gifting of the memberships. Like I said, we like doing this every single time that we do live streams, and it's awesome to see the hippos right on there. When people are in chat, you can see the numbers in there for the top fans, and then as well as the gifting of the memberships in there. So, all right, guys, so that is going to do it for our Sunday stream. Again, a lot of stuff that is going to be coming up this week. We know that the awakened version of Skrath, the notes will be up tomorrow. The hero will be up on Tuesday. Also have the dynamic division, so we're going to have to see exactly what that looks like with all of the Cursed Realm and everything else. And we have the Abyssal Expedition as well as some other things that are coming down the pipeline. So we're going to have to see exactly what it looks like. But guys, that is going to do it for the Sunday stream. Got to run out and do some shopping. So let me know in the comments what you guys think. And as always, thank you guys for watching.